Hello, everybody. This is Alyssa from Make Arts and Crafts. And today I want to say welcome to everybody. I know I'm a little bit late in getting this video up, but we are officially kicking off the Lunar New Year DP along. I'm filming this today, which is January 15th. We are probably, Susu, leave it alone. You do not need to press the speaker. No. Had to go stop the brat cat from doing chaos things. Hi, Momo. Sorry for disturbing you. I'm wearing my Udi, and Mochi is in the Udi pocket. So I'm wearing my cat because that's what she does. So I'm filming this on the 15th, which is the kickoff. Sushi, stop it. All right, third time is the charm. Let's see if we can do this without Sushi causing chaos. I start filming and Sushi decides that the world is ending and she must cause all the chaos. So, filming this on the 15th, a little bit later than planned, but I am also in the process of house hunting, so I'm leaving work and immediately starting, going and looking at houses because I have to find somewhere to live. Anyways, we have officially kicked off the Lunar New Year DP along 2025, and huge shout out to everybody that is participating. I'm super excited. Hopefully have some fun stuff planned for you guys. I thought I had one of my Asian type themed flowers, but apparently it's more of a sunflower as opposed to like a chrysanthemum. But we're going to work on this little origami. Figured, it's origami. Origami had its foundations in the East as opposed to being a Western art. So we are going to do some origami and we will see how this goes. I've never done this before, so I have no idea how it goes. I wonder if there's directions on it. Yes, it does have directions. All right, so we're gonna work on this, see how it goes. And Sushi, leave it, put it away, and go from there. And I guess, I wonder if this has actual directions for how to put it together. I wonder. I have to follow the directions online, apparently, which I was hoping to have paper directions. I prefer paper directions. But we're going to take the origami papers out so we can follow the folds of this. Susu, leave this stuff alone. Come on. You're being a little brat cat. I'm trying to do things, and you're just getting into things. Susie. Literally getting into all the things when she should not be getting into all the things. Okay. So, let's go ahead. This says how to do some different folds. So, we're going to keep this out because it's going to give me directions on how to fold things. And in case I need it to fold things. And I have my website I need to go to, and then we're going to get into it and we're going to go over how to actually make this little design. What's the website that I need? Okay. And then we're going to get into it. I will have a link in the description box below, so if you are participating in the event, and then you can go ahead and sign up via the Google Doc that's posted down below in the description box. So that way you can actually participate for like the weekly giveaways. So the first giveaway will be next week. So yes, that is what we are working on. So I'm going to punch these out, and while I'm punching these out, I am going to go ahead and go over a little bit of the basics for you guys. So first off, we have officially started the Lunar New Year DP along. Go ahead and make sure you fill out the directions down below. That's going to be, or not the directions, fill out the Google document, which will be posted down below. That's going to be something that's important for everybody to do. So I want that, I want you guys to do that. Once you've filled out the Google document, if you're participating for prizes, that is. If you're just participating for fun, no worries, you don't have to fill it out. I will be posting. You can also, if you want to participate and have me be able to give you like immediate real-time responses to what you're doing and like what you're working on, then I recommend you joining the Sophie, the Diamond Help Desk, joining her Discord, because we do have a event page over in the Discord. I don't do a Facebook group or anything like that, but we do have an actual channel in the Discord specific to the event. And that's where, like, you can tag me in Instagram so I can see it. You see what you're working on and everything like that, but I don't really use Facebook, so I do not have the Facebook group or anything like that. All of that stuff's in, and I mentioned that in the introduction video as well. But I have some sponsors. I'm still working on getting some sponsors as well, because I've been super busy, and yeah, it's been a lot. But I have a grand prize, and I have some weekly sponsors, and I'm working on a couple other weekly sponsors that I'd like to add in to what we've got giveaway wise. So I'm excited for that. And then we're gonna kind of get into a little bit about what we're doing for the event, or a little bit about it, because a lot of people aren't. Some people are familiar with the Lunar New Year and what it is. Other people are not. So I kind of want to go over what the Lunar New Year is for those that may not be familiar with it, so that way everybody kind of knows what it is. And the Chinese Zodiac, because the Chinese Zodiac is different than like the Western Zodiac, which is like I'm a Virgo in the Western Zodiac. That's about as much as I know about the Western Zodiac. I'm not very well versed in Western zodiacal type things. That's just not my forte of stuff. Is not, like, I'm not very well versed on the Western realm of everything. But give me like the Eastern side, Oriental side of everything, and that stuff that's I'm a little bit more familiar with. So we have this is the year of the snake. It's actually technically the wood snake, if you wanted to be a little bit more precise. So when we look at that, basically, like I said, this is the year of the snake, or the wood snake. There are 12 zodiac animals. We have the rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, snake, horse, goat, and sometimes you'll hear the goat and the sheep, depending on what source you look at. Sometimes you'll see it referenced as a goat, sometimes you'll hear it referenced as a sheep. Same thing like with the ox. Sometimes it's an ox, sometimes it's a cow. It depends on where you look at for your information. And then you have the monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And what's also really interesting is you can't just say, hey, I was born in January or February of like my mom, born in 1960. And today's actually her birthday. So she always thought that she was a rat. But in reality, when you actually look at it, just because it depends on when your birthday falls according to the Lunar New Year, because the Lunar New Year does not start on January 1st. The Lunar New Year changes because it's based on the moon, hence lunar. It's lunar cycle. So based on the cycle of the moon, it changes. Like last year, the Lunar New Year was in February. It was like mid-February. It was when the new Lunar New Year was. This year, the Lunar New Year is actually on January 29th. So it's going to vary, and that's why I moved the event up a little bit, which is also why I don't quite have all my sponsors yet, because I moved the event up a couple weeks in order to be able to have the event run through the Lunar New Year. Because if I started it in February, the Lunar New Year would be over, and I wanted to actually have the event go through the Lunar New Year, which is what it's doing. So basically, like, let's say your birth year is, you were born in January, let's go with January 15th of we'll go with 1960. So 1960 in general is the year of the rat. But if you were born January 15th of 1960, that is actually the pig. So now if you go like a month later, you will be a rat. So it really varies depending on whether you were born before the Lunar New Year or after, as far as like that January versus February, like when in the lunar cycle of that new year you fall. So it's kind of like if you think of the regular calendar, if you were born in, if you were born December 31st versus being born January 1st. It's just in the lunar cycle, the Lunar New Year changes from year to year. So it's not always the same date. It changes each year. So like last year being in February, this year being in January. So it mixes it up a little bit. And then we have like January 15th, instead of in 1960 was, my mom always thought that she was a rat, but in reality, she is actually the year of the pig instead. So that's kind of one of those interesting facts. So just because you were born in January or February, you have to actually pay attention to when the Lunar New Year was for the year that you were born to know exactly which zodiac animal you are. So that's kind of one of those interesting facts to pay attention to. So kind of interesting, a little aside. Also, you may have heard me mention that we have the 12 zodiac animals, but then there are also, on top of the zodiac animals, we also have the elements. So like this is the year of this is the wood snake. So it's the year of the snake, but it's also the wood snake. So the animals are in a 12-year cycle. So there's 12 animals and each year is a different animal. But there's another factor to consider besides just the animals and what you're born. So each year is also assigned one of 5 elements. You've got wood, fire, earth, metal, or water. And each element is also associated with like different traits or behavior patterns, which kind of adds a little bit more to that Chinese astrology and kind of makes it a little bit deeper and a little bit more complex. So it's not like anything that's very clear cut. It's very, very complex, very interesting and fascinating when you kind of dive into the Chinese astrology when you're looking at it. It's definitely not just a matter of saying, oh, I'm this sign. It's like, well, it's kind of like when you go into, I think like when the Western realm where it would be like Venus or like Mercury is in retrograde, and I have no idea what that even means, but that would be probably the closest I could correlate it to, would be something to that effect. I have no idea what that even means because, again, I don't do Western zodiacs. But so when we look at it, you have the 5 elements. You've got the 12 animals, the 5 elements, and each year is assigned one of those elements. So like last year, 2024 was the year of the wood dragon. So 2024, year of the dragon, which technically this year we're still in the year of the wood dragon right now. And a wood dragon is going to be different than like the 12-year previous dragons. So there's going to be different characteristics between those dragons from the different cycles. And that's because each complete cycle, so you think, oh yeah, the zodiac cycle is 12 years, but technically when you overlay it with the other elements, it's actually 60-year cycle. So it's kind of interesting when you look at that. So the previous year of the wood dragon was way back in 1964. That's the last time we had a wood dragon. So the 5 elements, if we look into the 5 elements theory, this basically divides everything in the world into 5 categories. And each of those have different characteristics. It was first, so basically it was developed in what's called the spring and autumn period in Chinese history. So that's also the same period that gave rise to like Confucius and Laozi. And we could also, that's when Taoism was developed, Chinese philosophy, astrology, feng shui, a lot of different things were developed in that same time period in China's history. So it's a really fascinating time when you actually like look into the history of it. We'll spend like the entire video just going through and to breaking these apart. It's gonna be fantastic. You're gonna just watch me pull pieces of paper apart, but that's fine. Because maybe the next video I'll actually start folding paper and we'll just work on this until it's done, because it's Folding paper is relaxing, right? Right? We'll just do miscellaneous crafts that I have not worked on, that have been sitting here waiting for me to work on for ages. So each year is associated with an element, and and it kind of gets really complex. So we're just going to simplify it down. And you've got the 5 elements kind of go down into like a 2-year cycle, which is kind of really interesting. So like this, so 2024 was a wood year. 2025 is also a wood year. And then it'll change in, so it's like 2 years as that element, if that makes sense. So I was born in 1987, which means I am actually a fire rabbit. So 1986 and 1987 were fire rabbits. Well, not fire rabbits, but 1986 and 1987 were fire years. And then you have 1988 and 1989 went to earth. 90 and 91 metal. 92 and 93 water. 94, 95 wood, and then it went back to fire in 96 and 97. So it goes on that, basically that 10 years to rotate through the elements like that, because there's the 5 elements and you do 2 years at each element. So it's really interesting when you kind of look at it like that. And it doesn't do, so like last year was wood, this year is wood. So we had a wood dragon, and now we're onto a wood snake. And then next year will be fire, which will be pretty cool because we'll be back into fire next year. So what that means for me, so next year will be fire. So let's see, I'll be 38 this year. And then, so when I turn 40, we will still be in fire. So my 40th year, I'll be still back into fire. That'll be kind of cool. So the characteristics of those elements. So wood, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to kind of read over, we'll talk about the elements is what we're going to talk about today. Is a little bit about some of those different elements, because it's kind of fascinating when we talk about it. And I know I talked a little bit more about I don't want to go over like literally everything that I talked about last year and this year, because you can rewatch like my old videos from last year to learn a little bit more about like some of the Zodiac animals and things like that. I may go over some of that stuff, but I don't want to like just repeat everything that I did last year, this year. So I don't think I went this in depth on the elements last year. I think I briefly touched on them, but I don't think I went quite as in depth on the elements last year. So when we talk about the elements, we have we'll talk about wood, because that's what this year is the wood, is our wood element. So the characteristics that you typically find for wood elements, and those would be like 1964 and 65, 74 and 75, 84 and 85, 94, 95, 2004, 2005, 2014, 2015, and then you also see 2024 and 2025. So those would be the years people would be born to have wood be their characteristic. So we have these people will tend to be tall and willowy. The men are likely solid and well built, while the women look youthful as shoots of spring bamboo even as they age. That'd be lovely. I would love to look like youthful shoots of spring bamboo as I age. Even though, yeah, I don't feel like I'm approaching 40. But, you know, my body feels like it's approaching 40. My brain does not feel like it's approaching 40. My brain tells me I'm still in my early 20s. But my body does not. My body is like, you are most definitely getting up there in age. My brain is like, no, we're not old. We're not getting old. Well, I'm not old, but my brain tells me I'm still in my early 20s. My body is like, yeah, you're not in your early 20s. Both are soft-spoken, preferring to listen rather than speak. They are creative and quick-witted, but prefer to stay still in silent contemplation rather than participate in anything overly active for their taste. Interesting. These people are kind and loyal to their family and friends, especially their partner. In love, they are considerate of the needs of their other half, usually loving partners who express their affection in unexpected, creative ways. They are stubborn, easily wounded, prone to nursing a past hurt for years without letting on. They learn how to communicate with their partner directly and not let a small slight fester, or they do best to do this. Otherwise, it can fester into a major breakdown of the relationship. Usually ambitious and competitive at work, capable and independent as a part of a team, but they are often quite opinionated. They can think rationally when analyzing complex situations and are level-headed as leaders. So that's some of the basics. Let me see what it says as I scroll down. They are determined to the point of being obstinate, and they often refuse to change their mind, and can become very self-centered and not take others' input into consideration. They are not usually temperamental, but hate being misunderstood and can be quite scary on the rare occasion when they are truly provoked, as flammable as dry kindling, which kind of makes sense if you think wood. Wood is very flammable. So that's the wood characteristics. Those would be people born in a wood year. And then we move on to fire. So this would be 66, 67, 76, 77, 86, 87. So I fall under wood. That would be me because I was born, or fire. I fall under fire. I am a fire rabbit. I'm the year of the rabbit, and I am fire, which is kind of an interesting combination. 96, 97, 2006, 2007, 16, and 17. So they have people born in the year of fire might have a ruddy and glowing complexion with pleasant voices that carry easily. They tend to be rather thin, I wish, as if they are constantly burning off energy with their endless activity and refuse to sit still for long. Well, I do struggle with the sitting still for long, unless I'm in like a hyper focus of doing something like this. They speak in a rush and may not wait for others to speak before moving on. Yeah, I do kind of struggle with that. That's something I've always kind of struggled with, is the letting others speak before I move on to something else. Temperamentally, they are quick to anger, but they never hold a grudge and expect the same from those around them. I'm actually not very quick to anger. That's something that takes a lot to get me angry. Very much a lot. Very, very much a lot to get me angry. But they never hold a grudge and expect the same from those around them. They are most likely charismatic leaders who need to feel they are in control. I feel like I've always been a bit of a control freak. At work, as in almost everything else they do, it is important for them to only show themselves at their best. They're enthusiastic, active, and assertive, which makes them valuable members on a team. Once they have a goal in sight, they will pursue it with all their resources until they reach it, no matter what difficulties they must overcome. Very much accurate for me. In love, natives of the fire element will want to take on the role of the hunter. Man or woman, people possessing characteristics of this element will proactively go after their heart's desire. Their courtship is passionate and impatient, but they will retain that heat even after years of marriage. They are able to inject their relationship with such energy and excitement that their partner can't help but cherish it. Earth. So this is 68, 69, 78, 79, 88, 89, 98, 99, 2008, 2009. So Earth, these men and women are alike. They tend to be full-figured. Women in this group will usually appear plump and radiant, while men often forget to pay attention to their appearance, degenerating into slovenliness if they are not careful. Interesting. My screen just jumped on me. They're even-tempered, easy to be around, most likely introverted and slow to react. That's actually very much like me. More often than not, they appear to have not to have any extreme passions or desires. Interesting. Ooh, I love it when these end up being backwards as I get distracted from what I'm doing. Tenacious and responsible workers, ability to stay optimistic, steadfast. They are kind and understanding, do not judge others. Their honor is of the utmost importance to them. Very cool. I'm trying to skim so I don't read it verbatim for you guys. When an Earth native makes a promise, they can be certain they will fulfill it. Humble, live frugally. They may find it difficult to start relationships. as they do not like to speak up even when their feelings are intense. Romance does not come easily, but their affection will become more apparent once they settle down and feel secure that their feelings are reciprocated. They are naturals in marriage rather than a passionate fling. Dependable partners. They tend to show their love by cleaning, cooking, taking care of the house and children. And then we have metals. This would be 70 and 71, 80, 81, 90, 91, 2000, 2001, 2010, and 11, 20, 21. This would also be because it's also be 1960 and 1961. So interestingly enough, both of my parents are metal. So 1960 and 1961. So metal, like gold or silver, those born in the year of the metal may appear almost too dazzling to behold. Fascinating. Too dazzling to behold. Wow. So if you're too dazzling to behold, considered attractive by any standard, possessing even a voice that is especially pleasant to hear. Okay, interesting. Refined in their demeanor as well. We're going to make a separate column for the green because that's a lot of green. Metal natives are decisive and courageous. Never one to shy away from challenges. They cut through confusing situations or even stalemates. That one needed separated. With the quickness of a sword. Tend to have clear-cut ideas between right and wrong. Oh yes, most definitely. Especially my dad. Let's see. This means, however, they can be quite judgmental when you rub against them the wrong way. Even if it's only a misunderstanding. Their scorn can be intense and too sudden for many to handle. Especially if you get on their wrong side. Interesting. Yeah, very, very strong personalities is what I'm getting from this. A very strong personality, which totally is like my dad to the T. I feel like not so much my mom. She's very, very much more laid back, chill. Those with metal may often find themselves the object of desire due to their attractive appearance and demeanor. They end up in relationships without too much doing on their part. But when it comes to settling down in a long-term relationship, they usually draw the line unless they feel ready. On the other hand, when they are interested in someone, they will be sure to show their charm and charisma right away, leading even the most unwilling heart to fall in love with them. So these are the heartbreakers of the group, apparently. So that is our metal. Fascinating. It's really interesting kind of seeing, the different elements and what they are. And granted, these are generalizations, so it's not going to apply to literally everybody. And then we have water. So this is 72, 73, 82, 83, 92, 93, so on and so forth. So these ones are elegant and gentle beings, akin to the ebb and flow of waves. They can have a calm exterior, but with great depth that most are not privileged to glimpse. They can be quite innocent, even naive, and this trusting nature makes them appealing. All right, last two sections of stuff to separate. Let's see. They tend to be fair and lithe in appearance, soft hair, glowing skin. Let's see. Also tend to be introspective and more interested in activities like reading and writing, leading others to consider them rather shy when they are only lost in their own imagination. At work, they are skillful and flexible, able to work well with technology, modest, laid back. You need to get away from my paper, Susu. You can't touch these. Can't touch this. No, I can't touch this. No touchy. No touchy, Susu. And then, no. They usually don't want a leadership positions, and wielding power can be stressful, so they avoid it. They're sensitive souls. Left alone, they can transform into creative magicians, able to turn the most ordinary into the extraordinary. They're empathetic and understanding. The only exception to this is when their own emotions take them hostage. They may feel at such a time that no one can understand the nuance and depth of their feelings. They are not likely to take action when in love, but when their partners take the initiative, they welcome it and reciprocate in folds. So that, each zodiac sign, so that's the 5 elements. So kind of interesting seeing like how those different 5 elements are related. So on top of this cycle of the zodiac elements, you have the zodiac signs, which has a fixed association with one of the elements and possesses those same defining characteristics of the element in addition to like the sign itself. So like in 2024, you have the wood characteristics, creative, stubborn, and competitive. Because when you think about it, you have the the 2024 wood dragons are thought to be defined by those characteristics, whereas if you think about it, like the characteristics of like the dragon tied with wood is going to be different than a dragon born in like the previous cycle combined with the element from that previous cycle, which would not be wood. So it's really interesting seeing that difference. And you can have and then it goes really in depth. You can go super in depth on this, and you can say that you have generating interactions, which basically these are the interactions between the different elements, which is can be positive or negative, which is basically how the two elements will interact with each other, which is kind of thought with like partners and how the partners would interact with each other. So like wood would feed fire, fire creates earth, earth engenders metal, metal holds water, water nourishes wood. But then you also have the negative interactions. So these would be the things that you don't want the reactions to be. So like wood splits earth, earth stops water, water extinguishes fire, fire melts metal, and metal chops wood. So it's really interesting seeing how all of that goes together. And it goes very, very complicated, very, very in-depth into all of this. And you've also got like the feng shui of everything. So you've got like the auspicious directions, seasons, colors, and shapes associated with the elements. So like this year being the wood element, like the auspicious direction for wood is east. The season, we're getting a really, really good view of Sushi's back. Let me come over and see what my next step is now that I've broken everything out. We are going to do some folding, apparently. And we are going to fold some yellows. How many yellows do I want to fold? All of the yellows, apparently. So I just need to see what my fold needs to be. Joop. We're going to fold. We're going to do some folding. So yeah, the elements coming together are very, very complicated and intricate. My cat has dandruff. I don't know if you guys can tell, but she has some subtle dandruff. She's a dandruffy cat. She has dandruff. The little fuzz has dandruff. You're so soft though, Susie. We're getting a really good view of a Sushi back. Hi, Susu. Do we want to see a face? Can we see a face? No, we're just getting Sushi back. So we're going to fold this, and then we're going to fold this. And then we're going to do this one. What? Are we just seeing you? You're just... So we're folding this here. Wait, do we want that one or do we want... Are these the same? I feel like... Are they this... Oh, are they... Okay, that is basically... It's all the same thing. We got this. We got this. We fold this down. We fold this down. And then we bring it inward. Like that. And then we have a little folded this thing there, and it needs to look like... What are you doing? Okay, apparently Sushi is in the middle of everything, so we have a Sushi that is just in the middle of everything. So let's fold another one. So we come here, we're gonna fold this up. Hi baby, giving me kisses. We're gonna fold that up. We're gonna fold that one down. We're gonna fold that one down. We're gonna fold that one over. And now I need to stack these on each other. So I need it to be, the paper is gonna jump all over the place. You do not mess with my towers. I can't see through you. You're not a very good window. Sushi, come on, move. Move your little cat butt. Come on, move. What do you think you're doing? What? I already have mochi in my pocket. Are you trying to come in the Udi? Come here. Get in here if you're getting in. Get in if you're getting in, but you need to move. Come on. I need you to move. I need you to move. Okay. We're going to come. Sushi, I need you to move, baby. What are you doing? What are you even doing? Okay. We're going to hold it like this. So we need the little, you just flooped that. We're going to hold it like this. We're going to hold it like this, and we're going to put it, this one, inside this one. That one's a little weird. There we go. So we have two of them together. So that's step one. Boom. I've assembled two pieces of paper. I can't see past your little self. Now I just need to keep assembling pieces of paper. We're going to keep assembling pieces of paper, Susu. Apparently until I have a massive pile of paper that has been assembled. What, Sushi? So anyways, so that is the elements. We're going to do it like that so that stays a little bit on the flooped up side, because I think it actually wants to be like this, where it's not so squished inward like that. That's how we're going to assemble it. So we're not going to flatten that section all the way. Sushi's totally going to help us though. There we go. This one needs to come right in here. Right in here. There we go. See, look at that. And we're gonna see how many of these do we need to do. It does not say. We're just gonna basically fold all of them and then make 4 little spears, I guess. Because it doesn't tell me how many to make. It's like the directions are very non-helpful. No, you can't have it. So the directions just show me doing this over and over again, and it doesn't tell me how many of these I need to actually assemble. It just says to do these. I'm like, that's not helpful to just show this and not say how many I have to actually do. You guys probably can't see anything because there's a sushi face in the way. So we're just assembling these. Help if I actually put it together the correct way. Baby. Let's see, how many do I have? And I can divide. See how I have to count that and see, because it doesn't really specify. I might need it to be further apart than that. I might be cramming them down a little bit far in that case. Anyways, we have made some good progress, but I know we talked a little bit about the elements. So that's something that I definitely wanted to do, was talk a little about the elements. And I think that is enough for today. I don't think I need to go in more depth than that, because we've got future videos and more things that we can talk about next week. But I thought that that would be a little bit about the zodiac animals, and a little bit about the elements and the different characteristics of the different elements. And then we'll go more in depth on some other things related to the zodiac in future videos. But the primary videos for the event are going to be on Wednesdays, and I'm going to put my Google Doc up in the description below, so you guys can check out and fill out the Google Doc below, in the description below, which will be your need for if you're going to enter for any of the weekly prizes. And make sure that, and I will be sending out all the prizes at the end. I'm not going to be sending them out in between times. It's going to be at the end of the event. Sushi, do not stick your face up there. You're silly, baby. You're such a silly cat. You're so silly, Chaos Gremlin. And then the grand prize. So far we've got 1 grand prize, potentially a second. I'm contemplating that. But so far we have 1 grand prize. But look at that. We've got a spike so far. We have a spike. Troop, troop, troop. That's our progress so far. Hi, baby. You're gonna sniff this. And then I will continue working on this, assembling it though, next week. But for now, this is what we have so far. I just need to count how many spikes I need for this. And our cat that is helping us. But that is our progress. And I will go ahead and close this down, and I will see you guys in the next video where we will do our information for our first drawing and go from there. Boop. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.